Welcome back to Lens Language. Today we'll be watching the Queen's Gambit. If you have not watched the Queen's Gambit yet, please click on this video, watch the series. It was an amazing series. And yeah, give that a look. This scene specifically is the scene and the only scene in the show where Beth actually cried. This was such a powerful and impactful scene because throughout and despite all the different hardships through Beth's life, she never cried, even when the loss of her mother, even with the loss of the most important chess games of her career. There's so many hardships, even with not having friends, even the loss of her first mother. She never cried. But in this scene, she did. To give a brief overview of what's going on in this scene, Beth just got news that she lost a good friend of hers named Mr. Scheibel. Mr. Scheibel was actually the first friend that she made back in her orphanage, which she hasn't been in 10 years since she's been adopted. And it's actually her first time going back because she went to the church at the orphanage for Mr. Scheibel's funeral. And now she's walking around in the basement. The basement is where Beth Harmon first learned how to play chess. When I think she was around the age of 6 or 8 years old, she wandered down to the basement of the orphanage without having many friends. Pretty lost in life after losing, basically her mother, and her father wasn't there either. Mr. Scheibel, she was not teach her chess, but she was persistent, and Mr. Scheibel ended up teaching her chess, which she ended up growing with the game. She ended up learning the game and becoming really good at the game. This is a very significant moment because Mr. Scheibel seemed to be kind of an awkward to himself kind of guy, who was very similar to Beth Harmon, who was very awkward. And even growing up in life and, experiencing certain things as far as like drugs and sex, she always weirdly either kind of didn't fit in, but also didn't care to fit in because she just had chess, which Mr. Scheibel was the first person to teach her this. Now, she is back at this orphanage for the first time in 10 years, which I stated before, and she is kind of just walking around and looking at the area where she first learned chess and where she first met Mr. Scheibel, and she's here after his passing. We're going to watch that scene, and I want to break down not just how masterful the story is, I also want to break down the shot selection and why they choose certain shots and why that is so powerful. Obviously, the cinematic side of this. So this is where Beth was over here cleaning the erasers. And she would always look in the direction she's looking now to Mr. Scheibel playing chess over in the corner, which I'm sure they'll cut over to the table where the chessboard is. And as you can see, though, the scene kind of starts out with this beautiful, slow trucking shot. I like how the scene doesn't break the tension. It kind of stays with this movement. So we're quite literally watching Beth experience this location and slowly reveal and slowly walk through this space and slowly take it all in again because she hasn't been here for years. There's a lot of trauma in Beth's life, and this is a very pivotal part of her childhood. So she's kind of re-examining, or wish I could find another word, but yeah, I think re-examining is sufficient. And she's rediscovering this place. It's just kind of she's taking it all in again. That's what she's doing. She's just taking it all in again because this is her first time back. So I'm really glad they didn't choose to do shots from a corner and as she passes through a shot from another corner. And it's just like, that would feel like somebody's watching her. It would feel static. I wouldn't really feel as emotional. I'd feel like, what's here, But I'm glad they decided to stick with a oneer, nice mid shot. And they just slowly truck through the space as she is, rediscovering the area and what it looks like now. Also, the lighting, there were more practicals down here because obviously Mr. Scheibel was here. But this being during the day, they only have one light from a window shining down, casting down. And then obviously there was a light earlier coming from the hall, but they go with a very dark and moody lighting to kind of give different pockets of shadows as she walks through the space. We have more depth. Did a very amazing job with that as well. Wow. So they're still not breaking the tension. I think that's an amazing decision. This is also a wonder they haven't made a single cut yet. They've utilized first trucking, so they were moving the camera. Now they're panning, so they stayed still when Beth stopped, and they used her eye line as a point of reference to start the pan. And now we're looking at, whoa, what is she looking at? We see her and what she's kind of entering in this space, and then she stops moving, looks somewhere, and we keep building the tension by not cutting from the wonder and slowly revealing. We're trying to look over too. We're trying to look over to see what Beth is looking at. So we pan over, and we get a shot of the table without the chessboard on it, which just like, that's just so powerful. It just shows this is where Mr. Scheibel was. Like in the first 2-3 episodes, she went down to that basement every day and would go play chess with Mr. Scheibel, or Mr. Scheibel would be down there playing chess, not teaching her. And they just went through all their hardships. They just built so much character in this room. And for that chessboard to just not be there, it really just helps us as an audience soak in that Mr. Scheibel is gone. And we kind of are taken back to the roots. Beth, this is where it all started for Beth. This is where the whole the show wouldn't be called the Queen's Gambit if it wasn't for Mr. Scheibel. And the chessboard is gone because he's gone. And Beth is kind of just taking this in after her long journey of life that, wow, like, getting no more chessboard here. And I like how they went from, again, a pan to the table. And without breaking the tension, we go back to Beth. We tilt up. We saw Beth's body move over to the chessboard. And now that we discovered that there's no chessboard, we're like, whoa. Like, what does Beth think about this, though? So now we're anticipating Beth's reaction. Do they cut to Beth's face and just give it to us? No. They keep the tension and they slowly tilt up. So we're like, we're literally anticipating what Beth thinks about this. Color depth. So there actually is some kind of practical down here. Something tungsten. We've got a more orange, and the white light is a bit more blue. So we're actually kind of got maybe an involuntary color, complementary color scheme. I need to stop hitting it so hard. Oh yeah, there goes the light. There goes the light right there. Okay. This is just masterful. They put that bulb there. I think the bulb was there when Mr. Scheibel was there. I mean, I can only imagine they kept the continuity going. But yeah, we got some nice side lighting going on. She sits right into frame. This is why it's important to block your shots. They didn't. This wasn't by accident, by the way. They strategically placed the light there so that when she sat down, she would be lit and have this beautiful side lit kind of look. And she's also lit back here with hair light from the window. So we've kind of got like a 2-point lighting setup going on. And I'm sure there's light bouncing off of maybe even the table, giving her a bit of feel here. And we also have color depth. This is blue. This is orange. We have so many different pockets of depth. The background is out of focus. It's a bit fuzzy. She is not. We have so much depth going on. This is all still just one shot. We still have not broken one shot. This is going amazing. Just holding on the shot. And I know it definitely feels like I'm just like, I keep pausing. I'm just like nitpicking. But no, choosing not to cut choosing not to cut. It's so easy to say, okay, we've got the reaction, or people are gonna get bored. But they choose to just hold on this shot. They went with a one. They haven't made a single cut. We're 40 seconds in. They haven't made a single cut. It's been one oneer, and now it's not even moving. It's just static. But that's kind of how, like, this is almost painful. Like, that's how it makes it more painful, because we're like, are you gonna move? Like, it's kind of now awkward, but now we're forced to literally just sit right in front of. It's like the prank where they take someone in a wheelchair and they put him like right in front of either like a couple kissing, or they put him in front of somebody just sitting down and just lock his wheels and make him stare. But imagine if that person, I don't know, was just found out that they lost their grandmother, and you just did the prank on him, and he's just forced to watch. It would hurt his soul even more, because he's just, oh man, like, you can't, there's no camera movements, there's no pan, there's no angle, there's no tilt. You're just stuck with the painful reality that Beth has to take in. Mr. Scheibel is gone. So at the end of this portion, they go with the first cut of the scene. And this cut is called an eyeline cut. So you might be asking, what's an eyeline cut? And an eyeline cut is when our subject takes a look at something and the camera's on them, but we see their eyes dart off somewhere. And maybe they give some sort of expression, some kind of look, some kind of gaze. And then we cut onto what they're looking at. So if I were to do this kind of in succession, similar to how Beth Harmon did it, maybe we get some kind of close with the eyes. In this case, we had a dolly in, and we took our camera from a bit of a wider spot. And what we actually did was kind of dollied in on her eyes. So it was kind of a pushing, and then the shot became an even tighter shot of the eyes. So it went from this wide box, and we pushed into a smaller version of the box to really put emphasis on the eyes. And then we would cut to something like, I don't know, let's say a treasure chest. And that's a possibility on how you could reveal that there's something over there, by going to a few shots in succession. And that is an eyeline cut. So Beth here is seen gazing at something. So then we, in our oneer, mind you, that whole shot was a oneer, we move into a dolly push in, and we start pushing it on her face. With the shot being static and her taking in all these emotions, we now notice and put emphasis that she's looking at something, that something else is transpiring, because she was going through all she was going through, but the camera didn't move. But now the camera is moving in, and she just stares at something again. And in our oneer, we've already established that when the camera moves, it's because we're getting some kind of reaction. There's something that she's looking at. Because she was looking at the chessboard earlier, we panned over, we tilt back up to her expression, we kind of focus on her. But when we really see her eyes stop and look at something, we've already established that she's looking at something. So that's how they communicate that through camera movements. And we have our first cut. Which was motivated through eye lines, so it still feels seamless. We still don't even notice. I mean, you're not counting when you watch it, but it's easy to miss. Okay. What makes this sequence so amazing is they still looking out the window. They still keep the tension. So Beth, we get a cut, and then we get these papers. We get an over the shoulder shot. It's technically like what, a mid shot. The subject is these papers, and we get a rack focus. So to kind of get the shoulder out the way, we also pedestal up. We're tracking. So we're tracking Beth's shoulder. We're seeing that she's walking over. She's getting closer. And as she gets closer, we get closer. And we keep the tension by keeping the focus on Beth's shoulder. So our focus now is that Beth is getting closer to something. She's getting closer to something. And we're also getting closer to it. And we want to see what it is now. But they keep it blurry. They keep it blurry and out of focus. And we're like, what was she so fascinated by that she had to walk over there and figure out what it was? What was so pivotal? And then they move kind of her shoulder, so they kind of do this parallax type of movement. And they put it back in focus. And this is such an amazing part of the film. Because this is the part of the film when we see that Mr. Scheibel has been following along with what Beth has been doing all of her life. After she left the orphanage, we did not see anything about Mr. Scheibel except for when she asked him for $10 to enter in her first chess tournament. Mind you, this is now years after her first chess tournament and years after she even been adopted and even seen him in person. And she it's been years since she's seen her in person. And we find out that Mr. Scheibel, after just introducing her to chess, it was kind of, he really did like love and care for Beth. Like, she was truly one of his friends. And he taught, at first they were, you know, they had a bit of an awkward relationship. They were kind of, he didn't even want to teach her chess. It was kind of like a interesting relationship. You know, she was a child, but after she's gone through all this, she's won multiple national chess title championships, and we get to realize that Mr. Scheibel, through it all, was down here, still in his basement, still playing chess, still doing what he was, but following everything that Beth Harmon was, almost as if Beth was his child. And just showing the relationship and just showing that there was someone there for Beth this entire time when she felt alone. Even after losing her mother, she didn't cry. Even after, because it was a different family, even her original mother, she didn't cry. Even after losing these chess tournaments, she was most heartbroken and truly hurt when she lost that chess tournament. She still didn't cry. But now she's kind of saying that Mr. Scheibel was a true friend. Mr. Scheibel cared. Mr. Scheibel followed everything that she was doing and kept up with her and loved her. And we get another cut, and it's just a close-up of Beth examining and just taking it all in, that he truly was a friend to her. And I think this is when it really hurt, that he actually wasn't just a friend. He truly was a family to Beth. Through thick and thin, and through the beginning, he was her family. And this is the letter that she sent to him that asked $10 for Mrs. Scheibel and to borrow to enter in her first chess tournament. And he even kept that. And this is years ago. He recently passed. And he even kept that. He hung it up and kept it on his board. And this is the first time Beth sees that and realizes kept up with everything. More suspension, more suspension, more suspension. What is she looking at? What did she pick up? We saw from a distance. We want to see, but they're holding on this shot. It's not just about choosing the right shots, too. It's about shot timing. They're holding on this shot on purpose. They're waiting. They're drawing this out. We're going to soak in the moment, see Beth's reaction to it. It's going to wonder, what is she looking at? Until we go into this seamless eyeline cut. I was wrong. I was wrong. There was no eyeline cut. I was wrong. But hey, we got this close up. This is one of Beth's friends that was with her in the orphanage. She delivered the news to Beth, so they've been hanging out. She hasn't seen her in a while as well. But yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful shot. We got her in the right grid of thirds. And then we have Beth in the background walking in out of focus. So we see her walking. We kind of establish that we're outside with her now, and Beth is entering this domain. And after that powerful moment, Beth really had to soak in that Mr. Shiva was more than just a friend. He was family. And she taught him, he taught her so much. He was even there for her when she just was almost at, she just realized she's been through all these trials and tribulations, and she's felt alone. She's felt depressed. She's been through drugs. She's had a problem with drugs, sex. She's been going through all these mental balances with chess. She's been having trouble connecting with people on an emotional level because she never truly had a real family. She's had friends, but never had a true family. She never really fit in anywhere. But then she got to a point where she never really cared. She never really cared to fit in. She just kind of lived her life on a whim. And she realized that throughout all of this uncertainty, feeling, and never having a true home, Mr. Scheibel kept up with every single thing that she did and was truly family to her. And she's soaking all that in. And we've got to go through that emotional, painful journey with her. And now she's just entered the car, and we get to see how she reacts to what she just saw, because she seems a bit shaken up. This is the cut. This is the cut. We get to see what she was looking at after all. We get to see what she was looking at. And this is the picture that her and Mr. Scheibel took after she first got recognized for her chess skills because of him. He called somebody over and said, she's really good at chess. And she played the guy and beat him while not even looking at the board. Like, it was pretty impressive for what she did at this age. And then they took a picture, and you can kind of see like the interesting relation of Mr. Scheibel, kind of a awkward guy. He didn't even want to teach her chess at first, and she kind of warmed his heart up. He was just by himself, was a bit bitter, you could tell, and kind of opened his heart. And she kind of found solace. She found something that she could confide in, which was chess and ultimately Mr. Scheibel. So they became family. It became like a father-daughter relationship. And this is the picture that he took, and this is what she was looking at before she came back in the car flustered. And in the car, you can also notice the lighting. They strategically put no lights in the car and just went with ambient lighting outside to give her kind of this like backlit type of look, and all shadows here. We've got depth because she's purely shadows, but because this is so lit, you kind of get to see her silhouette moving and out of focus, but her face is kind of pretty dark, and we kind of get to see this, how, kind of, it fits the mood. It just fits the mood. Get to see what she's looking at. Oh my God. Complimentary over the shoulder shot. Look kind of close up. And I mean, she's taking a look at what she was looking at. We get to see her reaction, and Beth is just breaking down in the foreground. And now this is the first time, man, Beth cried the entire series. And Beth was at a pretty low point here. She was at a really low point here. And this is the first time she cried. Oh, because she was having like a crisis too. She wasn't sure whether she wanted to even like she loved playing chess, but like all she did in her life was chess. So she got to a point where, you know, chess is just like it wasn't always making her happy. I mean, she still loved it, but like she was just in a really low point in life. So she would go to these chess matches, but still sometimes be really drunk. Like she lost a really big chess match because she got drunk that night, and she was just really going through it. She just wasn't the best in the world. She was just going through it, and yeah, she got the news, and this kind of reset before she ended up going on to win and becoming the best chess player in the entire world. But this was the pivotal moment. Yeah, she understands what she's going through. We get to see Beth truly break down, and it is such a crazy feeling.
Did you bite off more than you can chew?
And we just get a slow push in on Beth Harmon. And yeah. So yeah, that's the breakdown of Queen's Gambit, the scene where she cried. It's kind of specifically what I want to go over. I mean, there's a lot more, but I'm choosing scenes definitely that kind of have emotional value just because I want to show how it's story. It's all really story, but shot choice can also enhance that. So to really make you feel how pivotal, because I could just pick a random scene and just, I could just pick well shot scenes. You'd be like, oh yeah, that was shot beautifully. Hey, that looked good. Look great. But I wanted you to see a scene where it's like, oh my God, that my heart aches for it. And I want you to understand why your heart aches for it even more because the DP did an amazing, outstanding job. But that was the Queen's Gambit scene where she cried for the first time in the entire series. Mr. Disciple's unfortunate passing. And again, even if you haven't watched the series, but you got through this entire video, I would still recommend you go back and watch the series. It was just amazing. Take care.